Hi, I'm Gia Puyat, and this is Kwentong Creatives, a podcast to get to know the stories, strategies, and lessons of Filipino creatives across different fields. Hi guys, welcome to a new episode of Kwentong Creatives. So, I just wanted to do a quick update episode on what's been going on behind the scenes for Kwentong Creatives. Kasi kung napansin nyo, siguro wala masyadong bagong episodes na lumalabas kahit sa social media natin, tahimik. And I thought this could be an opportunity for me to be open with you guys as listeners and hosts. I just wanted to tell you guys what we're going through because it is a transitional period for Quantum Creatives. I haven't released content before. I've had like dry spells, but that's really because of work. But for now, it's kind of different. Basically, what happened was Anima Podcasts has shut down. So, wala na yung Anima Podcasts. And I just had this whole team around me that would help me create this content and put things out. And sadly, Anima Podcasts had to close over the last month. So, here I am trying to figure out how to move forward again as an independent podcast. So, yun, hindi naman sa matatapos ang Kwentong Creatives, but I am taking this period to kind of take a step back and figure out how to do Kwentong Creatives in a more independent setting. So, parang back to roots tayo, no? Parang going back to how I started it in the first place. So yeah, there are a bunch of updates I wanted to tell you guys in case, magtaka kayo kung bakit iba na yung pace of content or iba na yung content na lumalabas. So yeah, I think I just owe that to the listeners who have stuck with the pod and, listen to every episode and share episodes. So yeah, this is me kind of just being transparent about what we're going through. But before we do that, I do want to give a shout out to the Kwentong Creatives Anima team. And these are the creatives who have been, tirelessly working hard to put the podcast together. You always hear my voice, you hear me talking to guests on the videos, but di nyo kilala yung mga behind the scenes creatives ng Kwentong Creative. So, I just want to shout out to Elijah De Guzman. So, he's also an aspiring musician and he was kind enough to debut some of his songs. First time he ever played it live was in the last Kwentong Creatives event in Cubao X. So, that was really special. But Elijah, he's always going above and beyond what he needs to do as a podcast producer, and he's helped me out so many times in booking guests, helping out during recordings. He's always present and he shows up, and I really appreciate him. So yeah, thanks to Elijah. And also, I want to shout out Pao Halili, who is our sound engineer. He's the reason why the podcast sounds crisp, sounds premium, because he puts his audio engineer magic on that. And magaling talaga siya mag-edit, magaling siya magbigay ng input. He listens to so many pods, like all the pods, a lot of the pods on the Anima network are engineered by Pao. So, and of course, I want to shout out Mel, who is our Anima Podcast head. She, manages the whole team. She oversees like the big insight and where to take Anima Podcasts. So, she was the one kind of steering the ship for everyone, organizing the big podcast events. So yeah, I just wanted to let you guys know that there is this team of creatives who are really passionate about podcasting, and they were really helping me keep Kwentong Creatives afloat through Anima Podcasts. But yeah, that era is done. We had a good get-together a few weeks ago in Big Fuzz, Makati, where I got to hang out with other podcasters, sila Jim and Sab, Linya Linya Show, Slate, they were all there. So it was a nice get-together, and I'm also very optimistic about, the podcast creators in the Philippines. Anima has closed, but that is not the end for Kwentong Creatives. We have so much more in store. I know I keep saying that, but I really believe in this project. Alam mo yun, parang it is something I really want to keep afloat. But this time will be used in going back to a more independent setup. So what do I mean by an independent setup? Now, so I did have some time to think about this. This free time and this clearing has given me some space to step back and reassess what Quantum Creatives really means to me. And I went back to the original goals. Ba't ko ba sinimulan tong Quantum Creatives? And it still stands that I want to learn from people. I want to connect with other creatives. This podcast has given me just such a special space, a special setting to do something you wouldn't normally do with people you admire. Alam mo yun, parang nag-uusap kayo for 1 hour na masinsinang usapan, 1 hour or more, one-on-one. And what other setting does that happen in, right? So I'm really grateful for the chance to connect and meet these people. And a lot of them I haven't met ever. Alam mo yan. So another objective was to expand my perspective. I learned so much from these people. And nagkakataon lang na when I need to hear some kind of advice or lesson about whatever I'm going through in my career or personal life, nakakatulong yung nakakausap ko on the podcast. I don't know. It just works out somehow. And I think I'd like to think that even you guys as listeners, whatever you guys pick up from our conversations could be valuable in the long run too. And also, I wanted to become a better communicator. So this is also practice for me in articulating thoughts, unpacking ideas, asking questions. I think, that's a big part of being a creative, being able to explain your ideas to someone. So, yes, I still want to keep doing Kwentong Creatives. I still want to keep doing these things. But I also want to be real about the problems I've encountered after years of trying to keep this passion project afloat. And one of the difficulties I keep running up against is this lack of consistency. Siguro napansin nyo din sa mga release schedule namin. Minsan, ginaganahan ako. Minsan, marami akong time. Nakaka-release kami ng mga 3 episodes in a month. Minsan, isa-isa. Minsan, dalawa. That's kind of like a big no-no in the content creation game. I think I've talked to enough producers and podcast creators and content creators about consistency and momentum. Feeling ko ilang beses nang nawala yan, but what are you gonna do? I think I'm still trying to figure out how I can keep the content going while addressing the needs of my day job. Kailangan maghanap buhay pa rin. So I think I'm still trying to find the right mix to getting the right consistency, but keeping the quality of the content as I want it. If I just want to release an episode for the sake of it, pwede naman ako magdaldal ng sarili ko, diba? And I just feel like that would be kind of dishonest, na maglalabas lang content for the sake of putting it out. So that's one of the things I'm trying to figure out. But also, I want to be honest about burnout. I keep running into that, especially this year, nung pinupush ko na yung mga live events. I really see the value of doing live events, and I love meeting listeners and seeing the community, putting faces to all these listeners and seeing people out in the real world and talking about all these creative careers and whatever they're going through. It's awesome, but it's really tiring. Like, as in, naburn out talaga ako. And that happened last March during the event. And every time I try to put up something, I just realize, I need help in getting this together, especially for events. And I have been finding collaborators to help me out, like Rob Cham, the previous guest on the podcast, Komikero. He has a good sense for building community, and that's something I definitely want to keep doing. Some of you I've talked to during the events have suggested a Discord. I would also love to do that. It's just that I can't commit my time to always being on the Discord, but that's like in the vision. I would love for stuff like that to happen. So yun, I guess gusto ko lang maging honest about burnout. Nangyayari talaga siya kahit sa akin. And I've talked to other content creators like Nicole Alba, finance content creator. she can relate to that too. So one of the ideas I picked up from those content creators is when you need to take a step back, when you need to take that space for your own sanity, do it. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. All right. So now that we've gotten all of that out of the way, you might be asking, what is next? What's next? If you're going independent, what does that setup really mean? So I'll just be clear. No new podcast episodes yet. I really haven't scheduled with anyone new. Although ang dami ko pang gustong kausapin, as in yung shortlist, and I've talked to a few people. We just haven't set the schedule yet, but I won't commit to putting out new episodes just yet. I don't know for how long, but there are, di maubusan ng tao yan. But I do want to build the YouTube channel. So a lot of my efforts now are going to go towards putting out this backlog of video content that I have. And these are video content from events, from interviews, the reels. So I'll just be doing that. I'll be updating our YouTube channel with the best of Kwentong Creatives, with clips from our past events, and trying to focus more on YouTube as a channel. I'll still keep Spotify, of course, audio content, but I also feel like I'm being pulled towards YouTube more naturally. It is the platform I consume the most, and also it's kind of more in my skill set as a filmmaker. So parang gusto ko pa sila i-integrate somehow. So kind of thinking about how to do that better. I hope you subscribe to the YouTube channel because that's where I'll be uploading more regularly. So I just want to end it with the idea that Kwentong Creatives is just going through a transitional period. Hindi na kami powered by Anima Podcasts, but I think we're gonna go back to that independent spirit. Tuloy pa rin ang Kwentong Creatives. We do have some new concepts in development, which I will be putting out on the YouTube channel. A little sneak peek, we have a new music series in development. I'm hoping to do more events. And also, the merch store is finally online. We have Kwentong Creative shirts. If you want to support the podcast, that is the best way you can do it, by getting some of our merch. We do have collabs with designers who I really admire, and we put a lot of thought into the designs of the shirts. Also the quality of the shirts are from our previous guests, Nobody Clothing. So it's a really good quality clothing brand. So that's it. I don't do solo episodes often, but I just wanted to be open with you guys and show you what we're going through as a podcast, as a passion project. And yeah, thanks for listening up until now. It's been years, but I really do hope that this Kwentong Creatives passion project will continue to grow as a community, as a passion project, and hopefully, give you guys more value and inspiration for your own creative journeys. So yeah, thanks for listening, guys. More to come.